In dimensional modeling, we often talk about why it's important to use surrogate keys when we create dimensions and link to those from fact tables. Now I'm going to show you on the practical example how this works and how we do create the surrogate keys and link those from the fact tables. So what I've got here in my Excel spreadsheet example is I have just 2 records of customers, just to keep things very simple. We have Jonathan, who lives in Sydney, and I'm going to place colon to Melbourne. So 2 customers in 2 different cities. Now I'll have a look at my customer table. Yep, just there. And there's no data in there just yet. We're going to populate this table. Now this can be done using a variety of tools. I'm just going to use this one here. In the CSV file input, I'm referencing that CSV file and I'm grabbing all the columns from there, the alternate key, first name, last name, phone, city, and the country code. If we have a look at the data, that's exactly what we've seen in that spreadsheet. So let's go ahead and load this into our DIM customer table. Now, what's interesting here is we're going to say that the dimension field customer alternate key is going to be a key field. And that will be the one that we use to identify the row. Yes, so that's the row, that the field that identifies the customer as a unique person, unique customer. And then all the other fields, I'm going to say that when we're doing a dimension update, we're doing an insert. So that means a type 2 slowly changing dimension that will create a new row if there is a change in that customer data. So at the bottom of the screen, I have some additional configuration. I'm saying that customer SK is the technical key of that table, and that's the one that will identify each row uniquely. Yeah, so that's our surrogate key. Then we also use a column called version that will version each change of the customer information. And we will have a column called date from and a column called date to. So when I run this script, I can see that I'm loading some data into that table. It's done. We will have a quick look at what we have now in our customer table. So we have a default record for the customers that we don't find any information on, which I may want to change later so it doesn't have the nulls. But in particular, we can see that we've got our 2 customers with the customer alternate keys, the names, all that information on the right. And we have also inserted the dates and the version and the customer SK. So now I'm going to have a look at our facts. Yeah, so the sales data that we've got here. I've got the customer alternate key. Yeah, so that's the business key that we're referencing here. The order date and just the amount. And those 2 people are being referenced here. So we're going to go ahead and just load this data. I have prepared another transformation. I'm taking the data from the CSV file. It's the name of the file and all the columns that we've got. Can do a quick preview. See, that's that information there. And what I'm doing here is I'm looking up, and based on that customer alternate key, I will be finding the customer SK. Yeah, so there it is. The technical field, customer SK, was the surrogate key. And we will also be using the order date to correctly place that order, yeah, based on date from and date to. Okay, so that's important. Using the order date to identify the key so that if customer information changes, we will use the appropriate key based on the order date and when that information has changed. So let's just run this fact sales very quickly. There's not too many records in there. We will then hop over and have a look at what we've loaded. Here we go. So it's all this information, the customer's case, you'll notice 1 and 2. We've also added the customer alternate key. I wouldn't necessarily do that in a real scenario, and also the order date should be replaced by the order date key. Yeah, but we leave it there just for demonstration purposes. So if I've loaded it once, and I'm just going to run this quick group by and just get the amount by city and by year of order date. So that all lines up, that's fine. Now I'm going to go and change the information of this customer. And in fact, I'm going to move Colin to Canberra. Yeah. And we'll run the ETL again. Fantastic. So now we'll have a look. And we can see that we've inserted another row for this person where they are now in, go to the right, they're now in Canberra. And we'll notice the dates. Yeah, so from today's date, they moved to Canberra and they've got a new customer SK. Now run the fact again. If they have not made any purchases since they changed the address, nothing will change in the fact table. So when we load the sales data and have a look at it, I can look at the combined. I still have the Sydney and the Melbourne for the last year or a few years ago attributed correctly to the to those cities. However, if we now add a purchase for the same person, and we'll make it sometime later this year, so after they moved and changed their location, yeah. So we just run the sales table again, and it's now picking up because of this step where we said use the date of the purchase to pick up the customer SK. Yeah, we will see that we now have a new record for Canberra. Yeah. And we can also see that in the fact table itself, we have the customer SK 3 associated with this new date. You have just seen how the use of surrogate keys allows us to preserve historical information in slowly changing dimensions.